What's up, everyone, and thanks for joining me here on the Ordinary Car Guys YouTube channel. Jumping back into the trailer today, we have a lot to do and we are making good progress. If you haven't seen the last one, you're going to want to check that one out, because in that one we did paint the trailer, as you can see here, and it looks fantastic. So don't want to be a spoiler here, so if you haven't seen it, go check it out. But we have a lot of stuff to do and get done to get this thing mobile again. First thing we're going to be working on is getting all the things for the leaf springs ready to go. So we do have new shackles for it. So we need to get these bushings out right here on each side. So the shackles, the new ones, come with new bushings. So we need to pop those out and replace them. I'm not sure how difficult that's going to be, but we're going to give it a shot. So I did go ahead, and you may be able to see that, I cut the paint around the bushings just so when we try to get them out, it doesn't, peel more of the paint off than necessary. That's going to be the first thing though, and we still have a lot more stuff to do as far as the leaf springs and axle, but we'll start knocking that stuff out, and hopefully soon we'll have this thing back up on the leaf springs and on the rear end, and mobile and able to be pulled around and get working on the body. But one thing at a time, step by step, we got to get there. So let's jump into it. All right, guys, let's get started. So I'm not sure if this is going to work or not, but I'm going to give it my best shot. I have a 5/8 inch socket that'll fit just on the inside of this, and I'm just going to try to hammer it out. And well, we'll see what happens. All right, so we just had our first major fail of the build and trying to get this bushing out. So we did try to beat it out, and that didn't work using a socket. We tried to put the old pin in there and beat it out, and that didn't work and messed up the threads. And we tried to lay a shot press down sideways on it and push it out, and shot press doesn't work horizontally. So now we're going to resort to just cutting it off and trying to press this out with the shot press as it should be used. Well, this has been irritating and difficult, but we'll try to figure it out. And if we can't get it out, then we may just have to get new ones, just because the threads on this are messed up. So we'll just see what happens. So we're going to cut it off. All right, so here's our setup. We have a big impact socket on the bottom, which goes around the bushing and holds the mount itself. And then we have this small one which sits on the bushing, and we'll just try to push that down into the big one and see what happens. So I'm gonna just set this up here, stand off to the side a bit, and we'll see what happens.
We got no movement.
Mm-mm.
We have movement.
I think we got it.
We have movement.
Woo! Man, that just all of a sudden broke loose.
When it goes, don't it?
Ooh, man, it's kind of scary.
It is. Just went boom.
Actually,
What happened?
yeah, it pushed out a little bit. Okay. it moved it some. That was just releasing the pressure. So if we'll take a look here.
Oh, we just need to keep going.
We just released, yeah, it started moving. So I think we should be able to just press it out now. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. That's kind of scary though.
It was. It went boom.
So these are, I mean, from all the research I've done, they say they're press fit tightly, which obviously that's the case. And I'm sure this is the original bushing, so it's been rusted in for 80 years. And it's just, that's how it's been, so, you know? So hopefully now this will be easier, now that it's broken loose. There we go. All right. So here is our old bushing. Don't look too bad. I was in there tight though. So now I guess we will press the new one into the mount, and hopefully that goes okay. But we'll go grab the new one and start trying to press it in. But I'm glad that this worked. So now we can just take and cut off the old mount. I know I was hoping not to have to cut them off, but at this point it is what it is, and I'm glad to just be able to replace them. I know we probably could have used these old ones as they were, but I figured, you know, if we're doing it, might as well do it right. And so let's see that we can, and hope that we can get this new one in right. So we'll try to do that. All right, so now we have the new bushing set up in here. Got some grease on it just to help slide it in, and we're just going to use the press again to push it in. And if we run out of room, we'll just reset and move everything up and finish it out. So hopefully this goes nice and smooth, but we'll see. Alrighty, here we are. So just wipe the excess grease off, and that went in nice and smooth. So we'll get this back on, and we'll just have to get some bolts for it, which is not a big deal. And then we'll go over with another coat of paint, just to cover up, you know, what we had to grind off and then what was burn off when we were trying to heat it up. But that is perfect. So really happy that we were able to get that done. And now we'll just go do the other one. So hopefully it should go just like this, and we'll be able to get it on and keep moving forward. Let's go. Now that we got both sides done, just ground down where the mount was, threw some paint on it, just to cover up the rust that's under there. Set down and got some new bolts for it. So we'll get this done on both sides, and then once we have these done, then we can work on doing the actual spring eyes and the leaf springs to get those bushings replaced. So we'll get these tightened down, and then we'll head to do that. So now that we got the mounts back on the trailer, we have to replace the bushings and the leaf springs themselves. So these ones still have the pins in them. So we're just going to go ahead and use the pin to get it started pushing out, and then switch to the socket to push it the rest of the way out. All right, here we go. We got the new bushings in, and those look fantastic and awesome. So now that we have these guys in the springs, the next thing for us to do is to get these springs on the trailer and get the axle and rear end up under it, and we have to fit the axle seats because we have to weld those on to hold the axle in place. So they sit right in the middle, up under. There's a hole in them for these bolts, so they sit up under there. But that's the next thing we have to do. We can get these on there, get the axle up under there, get the axle seats welded on, and once we do that, then we're going to pull all of it back off, the springs and axle, sand these down and paint them, and then they can go on for their final fit. So that's the plan. That's what we'll get at tomorrow. Shouldn't be too bad. I mean, it'll be a few days progress for me to, once we get the axle seats and stuff welded on, to get it all sanded down, and then a few coats of paint on it. So that'll take 2 days or so just to do that, but shouldn't be too bad. And we are really moving. So that's going to be it for today. We'll see you tomorrow. So out here again today with the trailer right side up, and I have the leaf springs laid out here, ready to get these on the trailer and get moving today. So let's get to work. I'm going to start out with the front for now, and I got my bolts laid out and ready to go. All right, there we go. Let me run these in and get the nut on them. All right, now I think what I want to do is get the back of this up first before I go ahead and tighten these down, just so I can make sure that everything is in the right position as it should be, and then I can secure this, and then we can go on and move to the other side. So I'm just going to go ahead and put in the top section of the shackle. And it goes in so nice with that new bushing. All right, we got that down. We're good there. And go ahead and throw in the bottom side of it. Alrighty. So now this will probably be what's a little bit more difficult, is getting both of these on there and together. Just going to back the bolt out a little bit. Just let it kind of rest there. All right. There we go. That wasn't too hard. I'll just put this bolt on the other side here and tighten her down. So you will notice in the time lapse at the end of it, there's some nice cracks in the screen. So the GoPro actually fell over and hit right on the corner of the jack stand and cracked the screen protector. But I put a new one on here, so it's good. And I literally put that screen protector on yesterday night. So I'm glad I had it on there. So we're all good there. But check it out, man. This is awesome. Leaf springs. Golly. This is so cool. So sweet. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the jack stands so the bottom of the leaf springs are touching the ground, because the axle does sit on top. It sits on top of the leaf springs. So I'm going to lower that down and carry that axle here and then start shoving it under. Whew, it's heavy. And here we are. We got the axle in, sitting on the mounts, and we should have it pretty straight. We just took a tape measure, and I'll just show you what we did on this side. So we just took and pulled off here to the edge of the spring, which is about 6 1/4. So we did it over here, and then of course matched it on the other side, and about as close as we can get, really. So right about 6 1/4 should be good. And so we did just take the jack on the back side to lift it up and get the entire axle sitting on the springs. So it should be good. Just pointed the front of the diff up just to keep it from stabbing into anything when we're pulling it. But I think we're good now to just weld on these axle seats. So we'll just tack them as much as we can, just for now, on both sides of each, and then we'll pull it off and flip the whole thing over and weld throughout. So it'll be a little bit interesting, just because on this side it doesn't fit perfectly. So I'll probably just have to, kind of take it easy and build up the weld on those, but it should be fun. And that's where we're at. So it looks great so far. So let me go grab the welder and we'll tack these on. Okay, so since this back part has the best fit, we'll start here and we'll just see what we can do. Alrighty, so we got it moved over, and let's just try to get a really good weld on this. And so we'll do both outsides and should be all right. It will be a little interesting right here, just because on the old ones, this was kind of a flat spot where the old U-bolt sat, because it had the bracket come off, and this was kind of offset, so the U-bolt was actually sitting here. So it'll be a little bit different, but we'll just kind of have to fill that in probably a little bit. Let's give it a go. Here are my welds, first time over, and I wasn't really happy with them, so I did just grind them down, and I'm going to go back over them again. And I just need to figure out the right settings and stuff on my welder, because it's really, you know, pulsating, and I just can't really figure it out. Don't really know what I need to do or what I'm doing, but I'm going to go over these again to try to get a better connection and make it more solid. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you the final product once I have that done. And I have finished up welding, and as you can see, it is dark out. So these turned out a lot better than before. I think I figured out why. So I was hooked up to get everything out here to two 50-foot extension cords. So when we moved the rear end over here away from the trailer, I cut out one of them, so now it's only 50 foot. So I think we just weren't getting the voltage that we needed, so that helped out a lot. And these last ones turned out really nice. I'm really happy with them. And then I actually did run out of wire halfway through the inside of this one, so I had to run to the store and grab it. So ending up a little bit later than I would like to, but super happy with the progress. And I think these are welded up really nice, and I think that'll hold just fine. And you know, that's going to be it for this one. We got a lot done today and just ran out of time, so it's pretty dark, and so just need to get everything cleaned up now. But since we are at this point, in the next one, we will get this thing painted, and we have a few things to fix on the leaf springs, got a few bands to replace. So we'll do that, get all the leaf springs, the rear end, the mounts, get all those painted up, and get it back on the trailer, and get the trailer back mobile again, and on some new tires. So I'm going to check and going to try to reuse the wheels that we have. Don't know if they are still in pretty good condition. I know one of them is. I'm not sure about the other two. One of them's bent pretty bad, and the other one has some rust around the rim of it, so I'm not exactly sure on that. But I'll look into that, try to get those fixed, and hopefully get some new tires on those. Hopefully they're all good and I don't have to buy any more, but we'll see. But whew, got a lot done. I'm tired. Thanks for watching. Like the channel, or Thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for the next one. We're going to get this trailer back mobile again. Looking forward to it. I'll see you.